Well, first of all, we've been preparing for our bowl game, which is is always a great time here. Anytime you've got postseason play as a football coach in the FCS or FBS, that means more practice opportunity. Just to have an opportunity to be around your team a little bit longer, and that's critical because here we are. We're in the day and age of the transfer portal. Of course, I think everybody's aware of who we've lost in that portal and what we have to do. So this preparation time has been very important for us. Some new tackles right there, some new running backs, some guys that's going to carry the football, some new secondary guys. But that's this day and age of college football. You can complain about it, but you have to engage it and make the most of it. And that's what we've done. So it's been a great 2 weeks of practice, or I guess a week and a half, balancing that with exams, balancing that with recruiting, visits. As you can imagine, the season is a busy, busy time for us. But the last 2.5 weeks has been, what's the term? You're drinking out of a fire hose? I mean, it's a turnaround. We have 6 visits here right now. Just walked off the practice field, as you know. Got to take them to lunch, and it just never stops. It never stops. So, yes, I'm looking forward to getting to Boise, Idaho, and kind of stepping away from all of this a little bit. Not to relax, but just to really kind of get away with our football team, get them away from Atlanta, and go experience something we've never experienced before. And the college football, the game itself, takes us all, if you're in it long enough, it takes us so many different places. And for us to take our team to Boise, Idaho, a place that 99.9% have never been, and get to experience that environment, I think it's going to be special.
You mentioned the extra practice time that you get because you're in a bowl game. Are you seeing the benefits of that? And obviously it probably won't show up until later, but what are the benefits as a coach when you have these extra practices? Because I know you're practicing for this game, but it's also for the future, for the young players, right?
Yeah, you have that opportunity. We, first and foremost, we've got to prepare to win the game. So you can't solely focus on the underclassmen and guys that haven't played so much. More so than anything else, like I said, it's replacing the starters that we lost that have left us. Marcus Carroll, for example, he's out of here. He had 99% of our carries at the running back position. So we had to get some other guys. They've been practicing, but to be that guy, to be the guy with the first unit, is something you have to experience. New tackles. We lost a couple of tackles. One that was a graduate that is going into the NFL draft, or hopefully will go in the NFL draft, and then the other was a portal guy. So those guys that have to step up, and that's a huge benefit for them to actually get to go out there and see just how they react, how they respond with that first unit.
Disappointing into the regular season with the losing streak, but how important is this bowl game to refocus and rededicate yourself and try to end the season with that crucial 7th win?
Well, I don't think we have to refocus. I mean, we focused every single week. I mean, it's just unfortunate how it ended right there. What it does do is give us a chance to end the season on a good note. I think the last game of any season, and with this being it, is one of the most important. Go out there and play well, get the 7th win. Hell, this program's won with 7 or 8 games just a few times. So that's really important for us. But I think just for the take a little bit of momentum, seeing these guys that haven't played a whole lot go play well, and that gives you, a lot of hope going into the offseason.
What do you know about Utah State, and how's the preparation for them going? What do you expect?
Well, good offensive football team right there. Struggled a little bit defensively. I know their head coach. He's an old Sunbelt guy from Arkansas State. So we've played him a few times, and he's always going to have a well-coached, prepared football team. So we've got to go out there and play very, very well. It's real similar to a home game for those guys, coming from the West. And then we have to travel about 5 hours out there on a plane. But I expect it to be a real good competitive football game. I think we're very similar in how our seasons unfolded. They're 6-6, just the same with us. And I think we want to get that 7th win. So bowl games are all about who wants to be there, who's excited to go. who wants to go out there and perform the very, very best, have the best time, and go let it loose. And I told our guys, I said, listen, this is a great opportunity for us. This is a great opportunity against a football team that we've never faced before. So many things are at stake. A 7th win, a bowl win, national televised. I believe this is going to be our 8th nationally televised game this year. More games than we've ever played on national TV, probably in the history of our school, to be honest with you. So that's important to us. So, all those things combined with a good football team, good coach, and makes for a good bowl game.
You can speak from experience, as you were telling me. You played.
I did.
Blue turf.
I played in 1994 against Boise State, 1AA playoffs, and it was a great experience. I can remember my father coming in. He went snowmobiling. We went out there. He went out a couple of days earlier. Went snowmobiling. Told me he said, "This is the greatest thing I've ever done." And we ended up losing that game 17-14, believe it or not. I had an interception from a defensive end position. But it was a great experience. So I'm looking forward to get back out on the Smurf turf. And it's just, anytime you can play on a turf that's not green, it's a little unusual. But this turf is well known. Boise State's well known, and it's been talked about for many, many years. I can't wait to get back on it.
So you've been there and you've experienced it before, but what about these players? I mean, they go to a new environment.
Yeah, that's the great thing about it. I mean, it's such a picturesque setting, Boise is, because it's down in the valley and you have the mountains all behind you. And I'm sure they're going to be a little snow-capped up there. We're going to have a chance to, I believe we're going snow tubing. And I think on Wednesday we really have a lot of time in the afternoon for these guys to go do some of those things that my dad may have experienced. I told him, I said, if you get a chance to go snowmobiling, set up a half day. I said, you guys need to go experience that. And, guys from the South, especially on our football team, don't get to do that. They don't, nobody's been snowmobiling. But we get to go out there and have a blast. We're going to go snow tubing, and we're just, like I said, the game of football has really, really blessed us, and it's going to bless us one more time with this trip.
So are you guys ready to possibly play in the snow?
We're ready to what?
To possibly play in the snow?
I wish it would snow a foot. I mean, honestly, when they announced the bowl site, I was like, please, I want it to snow 12, 16, 18 inches. Because that is, I mean, you talk about something that will just energize a football team, especially a group here. Now, if it's 35 and raining, we're in for trouble. But if it's 35 and there's some snow falling, I mean, we've got a group that will probably go crazy to get out there on the football field. So I've looked at the forecast a little bit, high 30s there on game day, but you never know, it could change.
You mentioned a couple of those spots where there's maybe reps up for grabs for this bowl game. Who are maybe some of the guys that have stood out in the week and a half of practice you've seen with new opportunities?
Well, we made some changes a little bit. Ben Chukuma is the offensive tackle that played in our last game because of an injury to one of our players. And, he's been a guy that's just been really on the back burner at the cusp of being able to be a starter for us. And he has a really good 2 weeks of practice. He's strong. He's physical. He's probably one of the more athletic and I call him picturesque because when you look at him, he looks like a true, like probably better than any NFL lineman you're going to see. And that's a guy that's really stepped up and done a nice job. And then we've had to move Trevor Timmons to our right tackle, and he's done a nice job developing in that position as well. Freddie Brock, our back, they'll be stepping in there and predominantly taking most of the carries in this bowl game, has done a nice job. So those are three guys right off the top of my head that, is ready to go out and play and show them that they can get the job done.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Ben was a walk-on at one point.
Oh, yeah, Ben was walking.
Another guy, Tucker, Greg, you've had a few of them come through, taking their opportunity when it's come along.
Yeah, and this is awesome for Ben. And he was so nervous there at Old Dominion when he stepped out on the field. I mean, when we got in pregame, he was going the wrong way. I mean, I was like, oh, God, what is going on here? I was like, big man, just deep breaths. And he had some blunders in that game, some mishaps, but for the most part, he played pretty good. But this is going to be so much better of a game for him just because of the preparation. And he understands going into the game, I am the guy. And he's taking all the first-team reps.
You mentioned the ins and outs. We have guys like Darren and the seniors and upperclassmen. Some play for you for even 5, possibly 6 years. How valuable is the experience for them on the other end of things Just maybe the last time they played for Georgia State, maybe the last time they played football at a competitive level.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, I always tell them, I said, if you don't treat the game of football like it's your last, every time you step on the field, then something's really wrong with you. You have to play it like that each and every day. But the ones that are truly, this is their last game for Georgia State, that's going to be really special for them. It's going to be really hard for them as those final seconds tick down and the emotions hit them that it's over, and they probably will never play on another competitive team in their life. And that's hard for an athlete that's played so many years. When you're young and you've played 6, 7 years of pee-wee football, and then you go in there middle school, and then your high school, and now your college career, and you really know that you're not going to play any longer. There's really not that chance to go. For some of those guys, it's going to be really tough. I know it was really tough for me, but it'll be really special knowing they laid it on their line for Georgia State, played a huge role in the success of our football program in building it, and they should be proud of everything they've done.
It's the last game for Darren. What kind of legacies he leave for you?
I mean, God, what records didn't he set? I mean, in 3 years, really 2.5 years, because I think he started that third or fourth game. I mean, he's done a lot. I mean, he really has. I can remember his first start against Charlotte. I wasn't sure Darren could throw it in the ocean if he was sitting on the beach, and I use that as a little bit of humor. But I remember us throwing fade balls up to the Cradle, and Cradle was having to go and make spectacular catches. I was like, listen, let's just get it in the air, get it in the proximity of it, and he's going to catch it. But he's developed and really become a much better thrower, a much better runner. But all in all, I think what he has really done, he's understood the game of football each and every year so much better than the year before. And he's been a really great leader for us. Truly, I mean, he's a statesman of our football program when I say that. He's a guy everybody looks to, and God, he's always going to be welcome back here, I can tell you that.
What does it mean to you that he's finishing his career here? He didn't walk away?
Oh, yeah. For all those guys that when you start something and you finish it, that I'm always proud of those guys. It may not have always been as easy and as successful as one would have wanted. We all want success at the highest level, and we all wanted to be a Sun Belt champion. We always wanted so many things, but God, just those guys stuck with us and made the most of every opportunity. I mean, they fought hard. Our last off season was as tough and as hard as any in the country, I'm sure. And then for those guys to really go through it and want to really recover from our season of a year ago, like the way we did, and we really had. There's a lot of things to be proud of in this past season. I mean, here we are going to a bowl game, have an opportunity to win our 7th game, have a winning season, and just finish it out the right way. And I have to keep reminding guys, we haven't been playing football here for 100 years. What, our 14th? I mean, it's just our 14th year, and we've done a lot of good things. There's a lot of good things to be proud of. A lot of good things. I mean, shoot, I think the start of that season right there, and this season in general, was the most fun I've ever had coaching. Even down the stretch, our practices were really good. Our attitudes were really good. We pushed each other every single day. There wasn't belly aching and complaining. Our practices out here in this bowl game are fantastic, and that's rewarding for me that we have those types of young men in that locker room. That's huge.
You mentioned about bowl games being about the team who wants to be there. So based on what you just said there, is that the impression you're getting, that these guys really want to be there and play this game and win this game?
You know really quickly if the team wants to be there or not, just by how practice goes. Them first few practices, you got 3 weeks until a bowl game, and they're thinking, oh, God, here we go, we got to go practice. And everybody does it. But our guys, I was talking to one of our assistants last night when we were at that state championship games. He's like, I just don't even want to walk off the field because we have so much fun in practice, And that's evidence enough for me to know that these guys don't want to stop playing. And they kind of get mad when I stop some of the team segments out there. They want to keep going and keep going and keep going. That's awesome.
Anything else?
Well, thank y'all very much. Wish y'all happy holidays and Merry Christmas and all that good stuff. Happy Hanukkah, whatever you got. And just have a great holiday season. And we can't wait to play on the 23rd. And I hope it snows a foot.
Thanks.
Thank y'all.